Miss Kaziah, Mother of a Nation, coming to you again. Now, the reason I'm making this video is to inspire the next generation of what would be potential artists. And so with that, yeah, there's a lot of painting videos out there of me, but this is not going to be like that, because the whole point is to inspire the younger generation by how fun it can be to paint. Now, I don't know how much time I want to get into the mixing of the colors right now, because actually I'm going to be trying to do almost a little miracle to do this within the time frame to see how much of Johnny Cash I can put on there. But let me say this, the fastest way to get a likeness is a line drawing. But this is going to be a little more than that, because it's got to be fun and inspiring. So stay with me, and let's have some fun, and hopefully you learn something. Now, the principles and elements of art. Let me explain the background. First of all, I don't have a college education, so my highest grade was half of the 8th grade. So when I communicate with you, that's the level I'm going to give you, because I don't know all that art professional language lingo. I understand the concepts. And because I did marry an art instructor, but when the divorce was over, I'd get corrections, but nothing else. So, but that's okay, because without going to college and without having somebody continually to show me how they paint, being free to explore the Van Goghs, the Nikolai Fetchins of the world, the Leindeckers, the Warhols, the whoever the hell, I mean, Raymond Everett Kinsler. He painted the presidents. And so that's where, over the years, approximately 40 years of painting. And so everybody starts somewhere. Well, 40 years ago, I was a beginner. Now, I had ambitions of painting when I was 15, but that got derailed, and so the freedom that I have to paint, well, I guess I could just never thank God enough for the privilege that this is, and to be able to teach people. Now, here's the thing. A lot of artists, what they do, they don't want to let you know all their secrets that they've learned over the years. But that's the whole point of this. Little Miss Kaziah does not want to pass away. I hope I live for a good long time yet, but I don't want to leave this existence without imparting to the younger generation what, between all the master painters that I've studied, and prayer and inspiration and the things that, you know, now here's the thing. It's just like the scripture. You can have all this knowledge in front of you. That doesn't give you understanding. Understanding comes from, well, as Christ said, you know, there's those that have eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart that can be penetrated, and everybody didn't have that. So let's hope we got some people watching with eyes to see, ears to hear. Before you can really refine painting abilities, you have to be able to see. Now, one of the things that I was taught from my art instructor, love of my life, Ivan Douglas Jordan. I married him. He taught at the Salt Lake Community College for about 20-something years, but he studied in California under an art instructor, illustrator, John Legata. John Legata was a Norman Rockwell student, and Norman Rockwell studied the works of J.C. Leindecker. So here I am, I've got this lineage between the Leindecker, the Rockwell, Leyendecker was a master at design. Rockwell, in my eyes, was a master at expression, because he could put expressions of personality and feelings even in the face of all the animals he painted. That's not easy, but he did it. And then and the things that don't change from that lineage of knowledge. Cool yellow is lemon yellow. Lemon yellow, put that in your cool side. Put cadmium yellow on your warm side. Now, if you have a split palette or you have the warm here and the cool there, that's up to you. Or if you put all the cools over here and all the warms, that's up to you. I don't care. What the hell? I know where things are, so I don't care about that. But you need to do that when you're beginning. Alizarin crimson, that's your cool red. Cadmium red, that's your warm. Ultramarine blue is your cool. Phthalo blue is your warm. Sap green, warm. Phthalo green, cool. Okay. Unless you try to be a smart ass and think, well, that's what you say, but watch what I do. You know what? If that's the way you are, you're not going to pay attention to this because you're a proud little arrogant shit that nobody can train because you think you know it all. Well, part of the arriving to the level of understanding that God has blessed me with is by being obedient to correct principle. So, and I hope that when this illustration is finished, that you can see why that matters. So with that, the principles and elements of art, there's so many things to think of that it's damn near impossible for a person to try to remember everything while they're painting. So the best thing to do is create really good habits. Okay, I mean, going down the road, it's not necessarily safe to have your mind wandering while you're driving, but it happens. Pray I don't get an accident. But rehearsing the laws of the opposites. Busy against plain, many against few. Solid line, broken line, straight line, crooked line. Light against dark. Pure hue against grayed down values. They need to just be part of your natural thinking process, you know. And as I attempt any painting, I always ask for help, because God's a giver of all gifts, and He's certainly been good to me to give me understanding of the principles and elements of art that's going to help me to be a better painter. Now, another thing is I was told that a person could be painting for 40 years and still be like they're in kindergarten compared to what there is to learn. And with that, now this particular design that I created about 15, 16 years ago, it's the same design that I painted the sign painter Gary Sinise, and the art and intrigue with the image of man that's in my book, Escape Prisons of the Mind, where 60 years ago I was put to work washing glass gallon jugs, forbidden to paint. The precious paints that my dear mother bought me, they went right in the garbage can. You will never be allowed to paint. That's a waste of time. Nobody's going to buy anything that you do. So that's what I had to live with. And so for 18 years, I didn't know that I had a prayer of a snowball in hell. of ever pursuing my dream. And then upon the escape, May 14th, 1982, listen, I'd only been out of that wretched mess about 3 months, and I thought, I wonder if I could still draw. So I got some papers. First time I tried to do something, it was somebody, but it wasn't the person I was trying. The second time, I nailed it. And then I nailed this. Okay, now we're going. And so now, fast forward about 44 years later. Stay tuned. Hope you enjoy. Bless me. And God bless you too. It's going to be fun. All right, let's go. Now, okay. I chose Johnny Cash. Well, for one thing, whenever I have the privilege to paint an artist, I kind of get a special permission to be more creative. Look, painting soldiers, police, and firefighters, I can't be creative. I refuse to. I beat myself down and I say, no, you won't. It doesn't show enough respect, so you just hold it all inside. Well, that's what's fun, because today I'm letting the kid out of a cage. How fun is that? All right, here we go. I did just a little pencil drawing, just with a very fine, just to kind of figure out where things are. And I always take a tape measure and mark just a tiny little thing right there, the middle of the canvas. Okay? Now, everything else, I do not intend on painting that the way you see it. I'm going to paint what's in here. I've meditated, contemplated what the mind can conceive. You can achieve. All right, guys, here we go. So, all right, let's have some fun. Here we go. God bless me to not screw up. And with all the shaking of my hands and all that, so what? What the hell? It is what it is, and I don't apologize. So there you go. And the little imperfections, it's like flavor, you know, like patina on an antique, kind of adds personality. Stop my hand from shaking. Help. Now, you know, when I took the painting that I did of the art and intrigue with the image of man, the day that I painted that, I had a friend stop by to visit, and he bought it right on the spot. But I asked him if I could take it with me so I could have professional photography taken of it, which I did, and I could have sold it for $1,500, which is what I sold it for that day, 16 by 20. I could have sold it 2 more times for that same amount. So, but Vern Swenson told me, he says, the only time he'd seen anything quite like that was at the Louvre. And then he said, you know, Kaziah, you've come up with something that's extremely difficult, and that is to create your own style, which the paintings of the Worker series demonstrates that style. Okay, now I gotta step back here just a minute. Well, it looks like I'm losing a little bit of the likeness just in. But you know what? It's all right. Stay tuned. Shit, we ain't done. We just started. Seems to me that one eye's up just a hair bit high. And what are you going to do about it? Little Miss Kaziah, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do about it. Bring this one up. Just a hair. And, oh shoot. Don't mess me up. The thing of it is that makes it so intense, you know. I'm trying to do this without erasing. So what I lay down, it's just going to be there. So. that's the electricity running through me. It's like a baseball player, you know. They step up to the bat and the bases are loaded and the pressure's on. Okay. It's just a natural reflex. And, if I get this done today, say, my hell, she did that in a day. No, I didn't do it in a day. I did it in a day in 44 fucking years. Sorry. All right. I'll try to clean up my mouth, but you get the point. Kaziah, I'm trying to stop my swearing, People swear way too much. And there's a better way to communicate. Just seems like. See, even I don't know how this is going to turn out, people. That's what's fun about it. Live life a little exciting. Don't have everything planned and written and scripted for you. Sorry, I think I just bumped the camera. Kaziah. You're making me nuts. Sensitivity, creativity, moments of genius, accuracy, and endurance. That's just a common prayer that me just begging God for help. Hey, it matters. You draw nigh unto God and He'll draw nigh unto you. So, there's nothing new about that. That's why prayer and loving God blesses people. And if they don't do it, then they're stupid and they don't get blessed. And then they wonder what the hell's the matter with them. Well, that's what's the matter with them. So, see, I'm trying to let enough of that white come through to make this really fun. That's the whole point. And that but there's also these other colors that need to be brought into this. By the way, it matters what brush you use. You got to pick the right brush, have the right amount of paint on it. And but I want to tell you a little story. When I was at the Springville Art Museum many years ago, and Vern Swenson was there, and he was, giving us a little tour, and we come to this one painting. I thought it was fantastic. And Vern goes, "You know what's the matter with this painting?" And I'm like, "Is there anything the matter with that painting?" And he goes, "It doesn't have enough paint on it." I'm there, gosh, I thought it looked great. What do I know? And it was around the time when, I used to repair damaged oil paintings for people and put whole new canvas backs with the beeswax and the professional way to restore a damaged oil painting. And I was asked to repair a Cyrus Asprey. Well, he painted a portrait with a palette knife. Wow. I looked at that and my heart just like, oh, I need to figure out how to do that. So, for about 2.5 years, just about every painting I did, portraits with a palette knife. But how I started, because it's kind of risky, and a lady wanted me to paint her father, and I said, I'll do it, and I'll do it for cheap if you'll let me try a brand new style. I've never done it before. I don't guarantee how it's going to turn out, but I want to use a palette knife. And she says, okay. So anyway, we agreed, and sure enough, when I got done, she says, wow. So, that was good. That was the beginning. And then I went from there to do the Worker series. Well, then it went from a knife, palette knife, these little buggers, to a square, small brush that I could pick up the paint as much as I needed with a little more control than what I had with the palette knife. And that was the genius of the Worker series. And Vern Swenson told me, he says, you know, Kaziah, you've done something that's very, almost impossible for an artist to do. You've created your own style. And that was the Worker series. So, okay, we had a little technical difficulties. These are new cameras. Obviously, we're moving up in the world. We're making stuff that's we haven't done before. So stay tuned. But I've had to. I intend on finishing this today. Well, in this session. So you know, say, well, it took you an hour and a half. Just remember, no, it didn't. Took me an hour and a half and 45 years, okay? All right, so wish me well. Here we go. It's different. It's turning out different than what I had envisioned and all that premeditation because I covered up too much of the white. That's what I did wrong. Now I can undo that when this settles. It dries a bit. I can go through and put white there, but I'm going to go with the flow. You know, I got a friend, Larry Nelson, and what he'd do is he'd take old barnwood, and he'd anywhere from Native American faces to animal faces, deer, raccoons, whatever. He'd look at this piece of wood, and then he'd think of all the things, options of what he could do with it, to use what's naturally there. So that's kind of the way an artist thinks, you know. We're not trying to control it necessarily. I'm hoping for moments of genius that I can come up with those things that are just that it turns out, basically. So wish me well as we continue. All right. Warm and cool, warm and cool, warm and cool. All right. I don't give a shit what people think of me. They've been looking at me like I've been nuts my whole life, so we're good. Because I'm not nuts. All right. Well, Sir Johnny Cash. All right, Man in Black. Now, you wonder why I always dress in black? Well, you never see bright colors on my back. Why does my existence seem to have a somber tone? There's a reason for the things that I have owned. I wear it for another 100,000 who have died, believing that we all were on their side. And I wear it for those who's never read. Listen to the words that Jesus said. About the road to happiness through love and charity. You think he's talking straight to you and me? Well, there's things that never will be right, I know. Things need changing everywhere you go. I'm going to try to remove just a hair bit of that. It seems like that's just a little bit fat. Like I said, I don't know if there's going to be much erasing, but we'll try. I just think this is just a hair. You know, personality is what we want. If I can catch one of Johnny Cash's moods, it's a plus. That helped, didn't it? Yes, it did. You betcha. Any personality coming in there yet, guys? Are we getting anywhere? Is it starting to look like him? More and more? See, this is where, you know, in color combinations, hey, I'll just be laying there to go to sleep, you know, and different color combinations come to my mind, and it's just beautiful because, you know, it's warm and cool. The brown is warm, and of course the ultramarine blue is cool, and I just think it's a nice effect, you know, to put those two together. I think they love each other. Yes, I do. I think they love each other. Many against few, busy against plain. Just a thought. Just that little funny little twist of the mouth, you know, that makes Johnny Cash, Johnny Cash. Now, for a person to use palette knives, let me say this. That you're pushing in, there's what you want further back and that you want brought forward. That needs to be done with a brush. Now, there's another thing too. You know, we can see, that's what you can get with a palette knife. You can't get with a brush. It's one of Fetchin's fun little things that he did. And it's kind of, you know, breaking up the space and I bet we can do some of that here, and I think it'd be just fine. Softening edges, you know, I've been horrible about softening edges. I should have been softening them for years, but there's so many different ways of doing that. Now, like Leindecker, the master of design, there's not much softening of those edges. They look like they was cut out by a scissors and pasted on something. That's how defined those lines are. But then he goes into this element of design within his shapes. I mean, wow. If somebody wants to figure something out, figure out Leindecker. Yeah, good luck. Figure out Nikolai Fetchin. A whole hell of a lot of us have been trying to do it for years. In fact, Nikolai Fetchin said he just hated it when everybody was always trying to imitate him and copy his work. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, you know. When you look at all the different artists that's out there, from Jean-Michel Basquiat, who sold, one of his paintings sold for $300 million. There's that. There's Warhol. There's John Singer Sargent. There's many other. Karen Kuming, or whatever her name is, that's a hell of a fun paintings that she did, you know. And so the reason I bring this up is every artist can figure out what you like. What style would you really like to be able to paint? Because actually, this is the kind of stuff that I've set out to paint my whole life. You know, just try to do a portrait and get personality and mood and feeling with the design and the use of colors. That the colors themselves create mood and feeling. For instance, what the hell did that do? See what I mean? Just that fast. Yes, sir. Well, I'm going to do a little more, but and then call it good. Only because to really finish this, seeing how I've just loaded on so cotton picking much paint, it really needs to set up for a day or two and that kind of dry. So when I go over it, I can be precise. And I can't do it right now because everything's just sopping wet. However, let's do what we can do, all right? See, always thinking of little designs too, to where it's not just boring. Well, handsome Johnny Cash. Now, whether that's too much, I don't know. I'll think about it. Think about it. I'll think about it. What did that do? Yeah, that worked. All right. Now, okie dokie, smoky. I gotta have better control over that. See the beauty of that imperfections, folks? Okay, does anybody agree with that? This is so fun. I haven't done this style for 15 years. Welcome home, Miss Kaziah. You invented this thing. It's nice to have you back. But I put the soldiers first, you know, and this style just doesn't, in my mind, show enough respect. So that's the only reason why I had to just behave and don't be. See, I like it. You give up a little bit of accuracy for the creativity. But who cares? So much more fun. You know, there's a lot of good videos on there, on the internet. A lot of good teaching videos and a lot of really good art books that you can buy from like A&A Art or wherever. And that teaches a kid how to draw and how to paint. So that's what I would suggest first. But then, as I was saying, you might go through and look at the overwhelming art that's out there, and see which style speaks to you, what you'd really like to see if you can master. And but then, you know, there's Picasso got bored with just one style, so he has his orange period is pink period is blue period is gray period is cream vanilla period. When an artist is painting every day, they kind of like to put a little spice in it to kick things up a bit, you know. Now, you can't always just put bright colors in there, but this is where the beauty of just blacks and whites and a few grays and that. I think it's wonderful. In fact, I'm going to be doing some abstracts. It's going to pretty much just be these colors for that very reason. So, anyway. All right. Now, you know, I was watching looking at the computer one day, and it says, "Oh, paint like Nikolai Fetchin." So I turned it on. I had to laugh. I thought, my hell, I could do a video painting like Nikolai Fetchin better than that. But it's hard. It's extremely hard. That's why I say he just hated it. Everybody was trying to copy him because he's just damn good. That's all. What a wonderful compliment to have that many people trying to get into your brain. See those little tiny things that really make a person look like who they are. You know, it's all those little itty bitty idiosyncrasy things, just little teeny things that. Well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show kids the joy of painting with a palette knife and how you can do it and how it's best not to do it, you know. So I hope I've lit a flame under somebody's butt to where they want to pick up the paintbrush and start throwing some paint. Like my sign, caution, flying paint, yeah. if you can stand to be anything else besides an artist, that's what you should do. But if you're the kind of person that you really need to have the freedom and the ability to just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to go throw some paint. Don't expect fame, don't expect riches, don't expect a damn thing from anybody. But if it's in your gut, that says you're not likely to just quit when times get tough. There's a reason they call them starving artists. Yeah, it takes a long time to figure it out. But depends on what a person's guts are. You know, what's your endurance level. Because it isn't easy, but I think it's worth it. So, and kids that, I hate to bring this up, but there's probably a lot of kids just in the sex slave and just a hellhole of a life. Stop it. Get out. Wash windows, wash cars, scrub floors, make a few bucks, buy some paints. And stay tuned to Miss Kaziah, because I help you out of your damn ditch. That's what I pray for these kids. In Jesus Christ's holy name, I do. I pray that this will help people, because I've been able to survive on it. Of course, I'm frugal. I choose to be frugal so I can afford to be generous. But still, I've made some good money. This is the style that put me on the map. So I thought you might enjoy seeing something that has actual potential. Just the regular, normal, run-of-the-mill art. That has value, but now, this is a limited color, but I'm going to let this sit, and when we do another session, I'll show you what I was able to do, because I can't do it while it's that wet, to put the final frosting on the cake. But just a few things. So it won't be much. It's basically where it's going to be. So damn if it doesn't look like what's his face, Elon Musk, doesn't it? Shit, when you think about it. Well, I wasn't trying to paint Elon Musk, just saying, you know. But that's okay. It really does. Oh, Kaziah, that's naughty. How fun is that? Yeah. So, anyway, there's your free gift from little Miss Kaziah. Gonna share with you the things that's taken me over 40 years to learn, and I gladly do it, because I just think it'd be sad when God calls me home. I'd like to think that I helped a few kids along the way to arrive to a better place in their life, and so God bless America, and God bless all those that love God, and all the freedoms we have here to have the privilege to paint. And I pray that this will be a success to the wannabe artists. And everybody starts somewhere. 40-something years ago, I was just beginning. So hope that works for you. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.